Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing okay today and that you're ready for some more A Requiem for Innocence. So last time we got to see a bit more of Jacopo's transition from slum rat to the Lord. And we got to see that he was not always a piece of shit from the get-go. He is very much trying to do everything he can for everyone, but being the Lord is a lot more complicated than he had expected. So yeah, he is struggling, and we ended with Requiem having a bit of a shady conversation with someone, figuring out something, so we'll see what that is all about soon, I believe. Hello Senso, welcome. So yeah, that's where we are at right now. Hi Duder, welcome. And hi Day, welcome. So yeah, I don't really have that much else to say right now. Or actually I could say, because I know that not everyone probably was at my Final Fantasy VII stream, so I'm just gonna say it now again, that this stream will be my last stream for 2 weeks. I'm going on a social media break after this stream, so because of work and other stuff, and as I mentioned also during my Final Fantasy VII stream, right now I'm kind of struggling with my mental health a bit, so I need to take care of myself first and foremost, and sadly that means that streaming will have to be on a little bit of a break. But let's enjoy ourselves as most of we can during this stream, shall we? Hi Quill, welcome. Yes, and so I will use this break to rest and chill. Not next week though. Next week will be quite awful because, quite awful. I'm so spoiled, really. Usually I work from home 2 days a week, but this coming week I have to be at the office for a full week. And considering how I'm feeling right now mentally, that is stressing me out so bad, but it will be fine. I mean, people do that every time, don't they? so yeah. Gonna mostly lurk and listen while going to the store and doing other chores. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, Dudor. Do that. And you are familiar with this story from before as well, so I mean, you aren't gonna miss anything super important by lurking, so yeah. And yes, Quill, we will enjoy ourselves with a great story pain. That is true. But it's a good kind of pain. It's a story. It's worse when it's real life. If it's a story, I feel it's kind of enjoyable, to be honest. Maybe I'm crazy. But yeah. But yeah, that's where we are at right now. So this is the last stream for a little bit, and then hopefully I will be able to come back in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, let's jump into the game, shall we? If I can find the correct button, that is always a struggle. Alright, gonna make sure I have some sound on my end. Okay, I think that's a good volume for me. I hope the volume is good for you guys as well. These construction costs are really starting to pile up. Can we put the manor repairs off until we're taking care of more pressing matters? Like using that money to help the poor. The Lord and his residents are the face of his land. If you wish for this city to continue thriving upon the fruits of your relationship with the surrounding realms, you must maintain a minimum level of respectability, my lord. Oh, you didn't catch up, Quill, that's too bad. You didn't miss too much, though. It was mostly like a transition sort of episode last time, so I think you will be fine either way. So yeah. This is Odilon. He is our consul. So, yeah. Merchants in particular are merciless judges of appearance. Of this you can be certain. No respectable merchant will do business on equal terms with a city whose lord refuses to take care of his own home. I get that, but still, it's so much money. These are necessary expenses. To acquire the resources required to aid the lower class, we must increase the rate of production. Efforts must begin at the top and gradually work down. You must not be in such a great rush, my lord. The work you are performing is on a much larger, longer scale than perhaps that of which you are accustomed. He was also present for Morgana rescue. Yeah, he was. He was the previous lord's consul as well. So he is pretty much jumping from lord to lord. And he was also part of the rebellion. Like he was working with Ginevra in the shadows. You have a point. Then let the construction continue. I'm definitely coming to see just how crucial a bit of embellishment can be to surviving in high society. Every engagement is like throwing myself into a lion's den. Everyone surrounding me, measuring me up. They question my pedigree, some with their eyes, some with their mouths. Some even attempt to dig up dirt on me in order to tilt the scales in their favor. Oh yeah, and there was that one time when I was straight up shouted at, right to my face. You're no more than a damn noble than any of those other rats whose nest you crawl out of, if I recall. Not that he was wrong. I took the throne by force. It's only natural that people are going to have their suspicions. That I came from the slums is just the icing on the cake. I'm damn lucky if condensation is the worst treatment I get on my first encounter. And then there are the distant relatives of Barnier let slip through the cracks slithering. Oh my god, I lost the ability to read already. Let me retry that. And then there are the distant relatives Barnier let slip through the cracks, slithering back up to assert their right to the land. There are a lot more people out to get me than I first anticipated. Do remain strong, my lord. I will always be strong. If I so much as let these wolves smell weakness, they'll pounce all over me. Like hell I'm going to let that happen. Goofy reads as to cozy. Thank you, Quill. I'm glad that you give me this encouragement because I always feel so terrible when I slip up like this. I won't have time to work on helping the poor if I have to spend my days fending off packs of bloodthirsty nobles. I must always appear strong, under any circumstances. I, of all people, should know just how easily a lord can be dethroned. And I'll be next if I leave even the slightest opening. I have to do whatever it takes to make sure that's not my future. Perhaps you should get some rest, my lord. Excuse me? Are you insane? I had to review your construction budget so that... Allow me to handle that. I will get you something to drink. Perhaps a glass of that southern wine you are so fond of. It is quite sweet, perfect for alleviating build-up fatigue. I am not fatigued. Come now, please take this request from an overly concerned consul, my lord. Fine, you win. It's hard to believe it's only been a year and a half. I feel like we go way back. Oh, we do see each other every day after all. I'm starting to crave some variety, to be honest. I never found a good opportunity to ask you this, but... Yes? Do you have any family? Because if you do, you're more than welcome to have them live here. I appreciate your concern, my lord, but they have all passed away. All of them? Indeed. My entire family was eradicated at the previous lord's order. Once, and only once, I offered him my humble opinion. So infuriated was he by my insolence that he had my family murdered. I would have much preferred myself killed in their stead. But he was a man who reveled in others' suffering. And you just kept on serving him. That is correct. I acted as his loyal servant, too afraid to speak up again. Acted. Recall what I said when we first met. I was sitting in wait for the perfect opportunity. Now you understand why. Well, damn. And if I may come clean about that time, I had every intention of disposing of the revolution's puppet master. Never once did I trust Ginevra. Her foolish motives were plain as day. As the new lord's mother, she planned to control her planted usurper from the shadows, acting as the effective governor of the land. Having no family left myself, this city and its people are like my children, so I refused to stand by and allow her to turn them into tools to satisfy her own avarice. The land would hardly survive a tyrant sweeping in to replace a tyrant. But she was removed from the board by the former lord before she had a chance to see her aspirations to fruition. Knowing she was no longer a danger, I decided I would wait and see how the successor fared before taking any further action, to determine if he were sufficient to serve as lord of this land. And I guess I passed, huh? Are you not upset, my lord? Nothing to be upset about. You never hid the fact that you acted in your own interests, that if a piece had no value to you, you discarded it. And I always knew there was more than what you were telling me. I'll just say, I'm relieved to still be standing here. Oh ho ho! If only you knew how close you were to fall on the other side of that line. Am I really that on edge, after all the work I put into this? While you do have a rare aptitude and strength of spirit, you are still much too easily swayed by your emotions. Ergo, I shall continue to instruct you until you are able to fully satisfy my expectations. It's rather curious, so oft do we speak, so great our time together. I have come to think of you as my second son. Aw, that's cute. Don't get all mushy on me, old man. We're not friends, and we're not family. I'm a pawn on your board, and you a pawn on mine. Strictly business. Oh, my apologies. I never said a word. Right. Never happened. Moving right along. You just keep doing what you do best. At your service, my lord. Out of curiosity, do we have any free hands around capable of riding a horse? For what purpose? There's someone I want found. Whoever it may be you wish to find, my lord, I am obliged to remind you that you don't even have to finish that, I know. I'm supposed to leave the past in the past. Let us see then. Your men have their hands rather full at present, though we can perhaps arrange for one of them to be reassigned. Are you sure? It is a small request, and not once in your entire tenure have you requested to use your men for personal matters. I believe we can spare a hand or two on such rare occasions. Much appreciated. Shall I arrange for them to set off immediately? Please. I'm looking for a girl. If she's alive, she'll look around 13 or 14. And she has unusual markings on her face. Markings akin to burn scars? Barnier once imprisoned her in this manner. He used her as a prop for his banquets, cutting her up from head to toe. My guess is that the patches on her face are a result of Barnier's abuse. Indeed, I know the girl. I presume she had not survived the slave revolt. I take it you care quite deeply about this girl, my lord. Then allow me to offer my sincerest apologies in his stead. No need to apologize. Will you help me find her, Odilon? I will oversee the search operation personally to the best of my ability, my lord. I pray the girl is still alive. As do I, unlikely as it may be. I'm just chasing after a sliver of a dream that shattered long ago. That said, if you do find her alive, bring her here without telling her it's at the Lord's order. Hi Fia, welcome, and no worries that you're late. I'm just happy to have you here. Welcome. She'll likely assume it's the old Barniers after her if you say anything. And if she happens to have found a new home where she's happy, you just leave her be. Understood. You needed lunch? Yeah, I had to eat quite quickly before this also. I always suck when it comes to like planning eating before streams. I always have to like shove the food into my mouth as quickly as possible and then basically run to prepare. Time drifted slowly onward. As I'd anticipated, there was no news regarding her whereabouts. But new shops and stalls continued opening in the city, with them coming a steady flow of travelers and passing merchants. And as traffic through the city increased, so did the number of people seeking an audience with me. I was getting busier by the day. My plans to attract merchants and artisans from the capital had worked, and every one of them seemed to have a bigger, more ambitious proposition than the last. My days became a cycle of meetings, reviewing propositions, balancing the budget, and deciding whether to proceed or postpone, and amidst all the tumult, my thoughts drifted ever further from the poorest of my people. And that's the last of the day's meetings. There's no end in sight to this. That is a good thing, my lord. It means you have succeeded in drawing traffic to the city. I guess, but still. I need to go back and review all these proposals, so... Lord Barnier, a moment! I don't have a moment to spare. A townsperson requests an audience with the Lord. You have been instructed to deny entry to commoners. I tried, but he refuses to leave the gate. Hold on. What's this man's name? Sir, he calls himself Requiem. Oh shit, is it really him? Let him in, by all means. My lord, you mustn't give anyone special treatment. Requiem is just not anyone. We've been to hell and back together. He wouldn't be here if it wasn't important. I should hear what he has to say. No, my lord, you cannot. Your past is... He's a good friend. I'm not sending him away. That's not even on the table. Friend or not, you mustn't give him an audience. You are the lord now, and he a mere peasant. You cannot be certain he will hold himself with proper decorum. I don't appreciate what you're implying about my friend, old man. He's no goddamn brute. Jacopo, have you met Requiem? He is very much a brute. I imply nothing, my lord. Keep your counsel to topics you actually know something about. I'm not going to stand by and listen to anyone insult my friends, not even you. My lord, must I remind you yet again to keep your temper in check? Ugh, that's enough out of you. I'm done, not another word on this subject. My lord. Hey, guard, open the gate. Yes, sir. What's up, Jacopo? It's been ages. It feels like forever. How have you been doing? Never been better. How about you, kid? Ahem. Show proper respect to your lord, peasant. You are to refer to him as Lord Bonnier, not any false names he may have responded to while in hiding. Seriously? You ain't gonna let him kick back even for a buddy? Enough, Odilon. He can call me by my old name. But my lord, I said I've heard enough from you. Well, look at you, taking charge and barking orders all important like. You're like a whole new man, my lord. Please, you can use my name. I'm dead serious though. Hard to believe it ain't even been 2 years. You seriously look like a whole new man. You think so? I don't feel like I've changed all that much myself. I wonder what happens to Gratian as he wasn't part of the time travel. Alright, yeah. That's true. He's not part of that whole part of the house in Fata Morgana, so... Neither him or Jaren, in fact. So, yeah. That's a good question. I don't know, you just... what's the word? Emanate lordliness now. Guess it don't take long in the noble stand to turn into one of them, no matter how far down the chain you come from. I did not like his offer to be lord rather than Jacopo. Yeah, me neither. Like, he does not understand what it takes to be the lord. So, yeah. And yes, we do know why Jaren isn't here. We do. But still. And look at his room. Look at all his fancy fucking furnishings. None of this old Barnier stuff, is it? Nope. With all the meetings I've been having, I needed to make sure I had a room that was nice and presentable. Well, that's one way to put it. Hey, don't think I'm just throwing around money for the fun of it. If I want any pull in a negotiation, I need to look like I have... No need to explain yourself, kid. I totally get it. It ain't easy dealing with a bunch of rich folk with stick-ups up their asses. I appreciate it. Anyway, what brings you here today? Whoa, bud. Do I need a reason to visit a friend? Can't a guy just want to hang out and catch up? Come on. I never said that. I'm just extremely busy at the moment. I don't have much time to spare for anyone. Come on! Don't be such a tight ass! That's exactly why I'm here. To make sure you don't get that stick up there so deep it punctures your brain. You gotta let loose sometimes. I suppose. Thank you for your concern. So let's get sloshed, just like the old days. I even brought the booze. I wish I could, but I don't have the time. You'll drink with merchants and rich snobs, but not me. That stings, kid. Right to the gut. I see you're as pushy as ever. Alright, fine. One drink in the back room. Haha, that's what I'm talking about. My lord. I'll be fine, Odilon. We go back years. There's nothing wrong with a couple of friends sharing drinks after hours. If you insist, my lord, but the peasant must leave his blade behind. I will not under any circumstances allow you to be alone with an armed slum dweller. Yeesh, everyone here needs to loosen up, huh? You seriously think I'm gonna pull a sword on an old pal? Humor me. Whatever, fine, you win, old-timer. You're not trusting this? Yeah? Considering what, I mean, Quill, you weren't here last time. I don't remember, Fia, if you were here last episode of this, but yeah, Gratian was having shady meetings in an alley, so I mean, yeah, I think we are quite alright with not trusting this. Happy now? Yes. Sorry about that, Requiem. Odilon's always on edge. It's nothing personal. Nah, it's cool. Can't say I blame him. Now let's go get trashed. I brought a little something from that pub we used to haunt. Bet you usually drink way better shit than this now that you're the freaking lord. But it'll be like old times, you know? I think I remember the peasants being unhappy. Yeah, that very much. Because they don't understand what it is that Jacopo is trying to do. This reminds me of the time we had that drinking contest. Wanna go another round? I'll have to refrain. Odilon would murder me if I did that. Sounds like the Jesus got you by the balls, huh? No fun allowed up here in the Lord's house. It can be rather suffocating, yeah. Well, you can at least let loose today. To old times, kid. To old times. Now this is a sight I never dreamed of. The two of us here in the Lord's Manor, drinking it together. We were both slaves when we met, for God's sake. No fucking joke. You never know what life will bring you. Been almost 5 years since then. You weren't even 20 yet. I expect we've both grown quite a bit since those days. Or are you still running around like a wild boar even now? Hard to say. I don't think I'm as bad as I used to be. But getting into shit kinda comes with the territory, you know? And the slums are still the same as ever. I see. So, how's everyone doing down there? We're scraping by as usual. The rest of the gang? And Maria? The guys are still lazing around the pub all day. Maria's rebuilt the brothel and she's getting by as best as she can. Obviously not in the same place, and it's smaller than the old one. But for a chick, she's doing alright for herself. I'm glad to hear it. So, tell me kid, you and her totally had a thing, yeah? Where on earth did that come from? I believe I've already told you no, we didn't. Just seems like she's about 10 times more worried about you than anyone else. There must have been something. Don't make sense otherwise. Maybe she just had a thing for you and you never saw it. Poor girl. There were no romantic feelings on either side. We were friends. Simple as that. Nothing more, nothing less. Have you seen those honkers? What does that have to do with anything? It just don't make sense to me. How can a guy only be friends with a chick? It is quite possible, Requiem, as long as you don't think with your other head. It just means we value certain things in life differently. You know, you like to do that sometimes. Get all weirdly noble like that. Hey, I didn't mean that as a jab. It has nothing to do with being noble. Maria's special. We've known each other most of our lives, and we survived hell together. Oh yeah, you mentioned that before, didn't you? That you two have known each other longer than anyone else. I think his other head is bigger than his brain. Definitely, definitely. What was it like back then for the two of you? Before I met her, Maria was raised in an orphanage. She said she ran off because she and the director didn't get along. Ha! Can't say I'm surprised. How about you? Yeah, sorry. True, I guess. That is questionable sometimes. I mean, he acts very much on pure instinct rather than thinking things through, I feel, so... True. Hardly remember anything from before I came to the city. Just bits and pieces of what my mother told me. Being guarded by a bunch of men. Being kidnapped by bandits. You mean that noblewoman? Real shame you had to lose her so soon after reuniting, huh? Indeed it is. Don't you think it's about time you cut the shit? Excuse me? You're not a Barnier. You didn't inherit the throne. You're just a damn fraud. Ain't that right, Jacopo? What are you talking? Finally starting to kick in, looks like. God, you got any idea how hard it was not to throttle you through that entire conversation? What? Almost out of nowhere, my heart rate skyrocketed and my legs started trembling so violently I had to lean against the wall to support myself. The whole world started swirling, and I could just barely make out my old friend glaring at me through the fog. How you like that? Feels like your heart's about to burst, don't it? Don't you worry, kid. You won't be feeling nothing soon. You poisoned the drinks. Why would you? Why? You seriously need me to spell it out for you? Ha! You've been stuffing your head with fucking rainbows up here. You wanna know what they call you down in the slums? Jacopo the Betrayer. I did not betray. You take one goddamn look at the city and tell me that again. When you're up here treating anyone with a cart and some trinkets to sell like fucking royalty, the slums is still the same rat's nest you left it. No, we're even worse off now. With your new marketplace, anyone can turn a little bit of money into a big old pile of gold. But if you got nothing to begin with, you're just dead in the streets. All you're doing is making the rich even richer. No, I'm trying. I wanted to explain how I had everything planned out. How I first needed to improve the economy as a whole before I could turn my attention to the less well-off. That nothing changing was proof I was protecting them. That the slums had been in danger of being eradicated entirely, and I had stopped it. But I could see in his eyes that nothing I said would save him. Would save him? Convince him. As far as he was concerned, I was pure evil. You're not the man you used to be. Gratian, why? I thought you believed in me. You're damn right I did. And then you went and fed us a bunch of lies. You called yourself the rightful heir. You called yourself a Barnier. But I did my digging. You don't got a lick of royal blood in you. All you ever wanted was to line your pockets, you selfish bastard. No, You never had any intention of helping us. Please, hear me out, Gratian. We were all just pawns to you. The whole damn revolution was part of your game. I'm begging you. How's it feel, knowing your throne sits on the backs of all those people you betrayed? Please. You don't have any right to call yourself the goddamn lord. Gratian! Hell, you barely have any right to call yourself a fucking man. You're just a rat in fancy clothes. It should have been me. I would have made an infinitely better lord than you ever were. If only I had that ring, then it could have been me. So that's what all this is about. In a flash, everything I once felt for this man, all the friendship, the camaraderie, the sympathy, went cold. As much as he tried to dress up this whole farce, that was where his heart truly was. No wonder he has trust issues. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it started somewhere. He was just sour about not being the one who got to be the Lord. He believed himself superior. He got himself caught up in this stupid fit of jealousy, and now he's trying to kill me over it. That's seriously all this is? Are you listening to a word you're saying? What was that? You're the one who's not the man he used to be. And you're the one who's being a self-centered bastard. Talk all you want, dead man. The Gratian I knew would never resort to using poison. He'd have drawn his sword the second he passed through those gates, faced me like a man. But look at you. Even Barnier had more of a spine than you. You dare compare me to that sack of shit? Alright, fine. I play it your way. He had a knife hidden on him? An instant later, Requiem was brandishing a short blade. He had snuck it in under his clothes, I presumed. I was almost amazed at how thoroughly prepared he was. He never had any intention of this going any other way. He hadn't come to talk. He was never going to hear me out. He was here to do one thing and one thing only. And I doubted he had any plans for what would come next. Raw hatred was all that fueled him. He wouldn't take my place after killing me. He wouldn't work himself to the bone to ensure the city kept running. He didn't give a single damn about any of that. You're a scum. I won't be taken down by some worthless, self-absorbed rat. Nothing I had ever tried had been enough to best Requiem in combat. And that was when I was at my peak, not with the myriad of needles of his poison prickling my every pore, barely able to stand under my own weight. But still, I had no intention of surrendering my life to this cur. I took in a deep breath, clenched my teeth, shouted at my shaking limbs. Move! 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 Move, damn you! My fingers, I could feel them again. Before the thought finished passing through my mind, my hand reached for a blade. Grasping the rapier hanging from the wall, I swiftly drew it from its scabbard. It was a decorative blade, not meant for combat. It would probably bounce right off Gratian's muscular chest. But there was one place I could target. Rot in hell, you son of a bitch! Knife in hand, he lunged at me, just moments before death befell me. My vision, blurred by the poison, grew unbelievably clear. Gratian almost appeared to be moving in slow motion. I wasn't sure my mind had ever been so clear, so sharp in battle before. The dying embers of my fading life burned anew into a blazing inferno. Ah! Unlike my fight with Barnier, this one was over in an instant. Before I had time to breathe, or even blink, it was settled. And in that same instant, everything I had built up with this man turned to dust. I had never once defeated him. For as long as I had known him, I was always number two. And now, for the very first time, I won. Why did it have to be you there and not me? The blade of the rapier in my hand skewered Gratian's throat. His mouth flat open and shut like a fish. He glared at me, face twisted in a mixture of hatred and agony, sputtering fragments of contempt, until the life drained from his eyes. Jealousy be scary? Yes, jealousy is a very scary emotion, indeed. My first victory against my old friend also took his life. And it all happened in the blink of an eye, hardly enough time to even register in my mind. My lord! My lord! What was all that commotion? What happened? My lord, please, stay with me. Were you poisoned? Someone, is anyone there? Yes, sir. A doctor, as quickly as you can. I... My lord, please, my lord, a doctor will be here shortly. Please, stay with me just a little longer. My lord. Odilon, you were right. I was stupid. I should have listened. I thought he was my friend, but he wasn't. Not anymore. And because we had once been friends, that made him my greatest threat. Yeah, I need to hide my jealousy of Lolly when I become mate. Yeah, please don't murder me out of jealousy, Quill, or for any other reason, please. I don't want to be murdered. Thank you very much. I can't breathe. My blood feels like it's made of magma. My throat burns. My skin is like it's being eaten away. Who's there? Who's there? Why are you laughing? Answer me! Well, hello there. How does it feel, boy? To know it all went exactly as I said it would. Oh, how? But that you wouldn't be able to trust anyone. You're dead. The worst is yet to come, boy. Silence! You could work yourself to the marrow of your bones, and still the people will never look beyond the surface. I said enough! Listen, you can hear the scorn in their voices. They're calling you a tyrant, a soulless monster. I know you can hear them. They are not. They say you're no better than me. That you're a foolish ruler who cares not for his people. They shout an endless cacophony of discontent. Shut up! Just shut up! I am nothing like you. Can you then remain a virtuous leader, no matter how bitterly your people despise you? Is your love for them truly so resolute? No, the virtue you brandish was never so selfless. Tell me I'm wrong, slum rat. It is not benevolence that drove you to take the throne, but a thirst for power, for prestige. Not another word. Do you know what truly brought you here? You were tired of people looking down on you. You thought you would be treated with respect if you had real power. You wanted it more than anything in the world. Enough already! You dedicating your life in the service of others, it was never going to last. Allow me to make a prediction. Soon, very soon, you'll find yourself drifting over to my side. You'll stop caring about the people's lives, and for that they will despise you. You'll lose any last bit of sense left in you, push everyone away until you're all alone, and then you succumb completely to madness grip. You love this flash art? Yeah, it's very cool. Stop talking. You don't have what it takes to be the lord of the land. I said stop talking! Oof. The people aren't the only ones who aren't on your side. You have enemies everywhere you look. The nobles don't accept you as one of them. They'll try to drag you off your throne by any means. Your aides and servants will turn on you. And this won't be the last time you ride in a glass of poison. Again and again and again and again. Never will you stop being the target of others' loathing. Or will you continue to act like some kind of paragon of virtue, never wavering in your faith in others? How long will your benevolence last, in the face of dozens of attempts on your life? Shut your goddamn mouth! It won't be easy, boy. Because you came from the slums, you'll face even greater threats than I. Silence! I bet that just terrifies you, drains all the hope from your heart. Well, there's an easy solution. Follow in my footsteps and reign with terror. Stop talking! I've heard enough of your goddamn noise. You're already afflicted with a great curse, boy. A curse known as the Lord of the Land. It's a curse from which you will never be free, and hence you will never be free from me. However much you may come to regret taking that throne, you can't give it back now. It's not something you can simply hand off to someone else, nor a duty from which you can simply relieve yourself. That anguish and agony and misery it brings you every day will follow you all the way to your grave. Just stop, damn it! Keep your babbling to yourself, you damn ghost! Go on, try and make me. Cover my mouth, why don't you? You can't do it, can you? You're too weak to defeat even a mere spirit. Shut the hell up! I know precisely what your future holds, boy. You'll sit upon the throne alone. Not a single person at your side. And not even death shall free you from your eternal solitude. For it is not but an empty shell with which you decorate the throne. Stop talking! Do you hear that, slum rat? Someone's come for you. The question is, do they act out of genuine concern? Can you be sure the water they give you is safe to drink? Perhaps they mean to finish you off. If a simple grunt like him could get his hands on poison, how easy do you think it would be for the Lord's Consul to procure a substance hundreds of times more potent? Hell, you wouldn't even have to go through the trouble. You're no more a threat than an insect with its wings torn off. A feeble woman or a crippled slave could plunge a knife into your trembling spine with little effort. Behold, the former mastermind of the revolution. All this suffering, you brought it on yourself by trying to defy your fate. The nightmares continued. Again and again and again they haunted me. Every time I drifted off to sleep, there floated Bonnier's severed head, cursing me, mocking me, laughing at me from every direction. And as it said I would, I soon began to hear the people as well, endlessly condemning me, deriding me, berating me. I tried to convince myself it was all in my head, but Grating's word told me otherwise. All my old companions called me Jacopo the Betrayer, he had said. I wasn't sure how much time had passed. Was it a day? Was it night? Was I sane enough to tell the difference? Was I even still alive? I had no idea. It was always the same refrain, every time he appeared. You can't trust anyone. Your friends will all eventually betray you, try to drag you off your throne. Your people will have no faith in you. Everyone despises you. I couldn't even tell anymore. Were those Barnier's words? Or were they coming from the depths of my own mind? All I knew for certain was that there was no escaping them, and that they were slowly eating away at my spirit. My breathing was labored, and my entire body felt like it was on a spit being roasted in the eternal flames of hell. And at other times I couldn't stop shivering. I felt like I had been tossed into a frozen river. Doctors, guards, Odilon, I couldn't tell who was who, but there always seemed to be someone standing at my side. The faceless shadows were anything but comforting though, for Barnier's ghosts constantly reminded me of the threat they posed. I quite certainly wailed like a terrified child. I'm kind of getting inspired by the Barnier head splash for a tattoo, a head in the midst of a flower. Ooh, that sounds really cool, Quill. It's really, really cool. Everyone seemed like a danger. If even Requiem couldn't be trusted, who was to say the doctors weren't sneaking poison into my medicine? Who was to say Odilon didn't plan to silently remove me? I didn't know who I could trust. Or maybe Barnier was right. I couldn't trust anyone. Still he cackled. Still he cursed right by my ear. There isn't a soul left in this world who won't betray you, he whispered, laughing away. Also, need to be mentioned, I said last episode that I felt like Barnier and Jaren, like their relationship reminded me a lot of Michelle and Giselle, like in a very twisted way. I feel like this is mirroring Morgana whispering into Michelle's ear a bit, like, oh, but I know how it is, so you need to listen to me because I have experienced this sort of thing. Listen to me. This is your life now, like, right? Only more twisted because Barnier does not care for Jacopo, but Morgana did care for Michelle in her own weird way. So I do like the parallels, I really, really do. It's really cool to see. My fever seems to be receding. I can finally move again. It looks like I survived. Hey. Hey, is anyone there? Where are you, Odilon? Anyone? Lord Barnier, I'm so glad to see you feeling well again. Thanks. We've all been worried sick. Lord Barnier? What? Oh, pardon. You just seem, not quite yourself. But after all that's happened, I suppose that shouldn't be a surprise. How long was I out? 3 days, sir. The poison kept you bedridden for 3 full days and nights. That long, huh? Then I got a lot of work to catch up on. Yes, sir, but I implore you take things easy for the next few days. When do I ever have time for that? Now where's Odilon? I haven't seen him. Go fetch him for me. He is presently... Don't tell me he's not around. Where the hell did that old man get off to? No, he is here. Please, Lord Barnier, try to remain calm. Odilon was... Odilon! My lord, is that you? Thank heavens, you are well. Forget about me, what happened? My deepest apologies. I don't want an apology. I want you to tell me why this happened. Please, my lord, distress not over this simple old man. Why, Odilon? The Odilon I know would never deign to put himself out in front of a gang of slum dwellers. Please, Lord Bonnier, try to remain calm. Odilon was struck in the head with a stone and is in critical condition. The following day, that is, the day after Requiem poisoned me, a dozen people from the slum showed up at the manor gates. They cried in angry protest against the Lord, demanding the change. Evidently, Requiem had kept word of my deception to himself, so in addition to their other complaints, they shouted that I was a fake, that I wasn't actually nobility. They threatened to reveal my secret if I didn't do something about their living conditions. As the commotion dragged on through the day, people within the manor started getting restless. Eventually, it got to be so tense that Odilon stood near a window, told them they needed to cease immediately, and that if they wouldn't, they would be charged with, less majesty? I'm sorry for butchering that word. I don't know how to pronounce that. Which is when he was hit in the head with a rock and lost consciousness. God, you damn fool! I am quite pleased to see you have recovered. Enough to shout with such vigor. Now I needn't worry. Wait, slow down. Worry about what? Regrettably, it would seem old age has bested me. I think the stone must have got in my eyes, for I cannot see you there, my lord. I'm right here! Please, don't give up on me. You're stronger than a stupid rock. Give it a few days and you'll be back to perfect health. And even if your sight doesn't come back, you can still do your job. I can tell you everything I see. Come on, Odilon. My sincerest apologies. Please! Why would you even go try and talk them down yourself anyway? Whatever happened to acting only in your own benefit? What did you have to gain from not having them executed on the spot? They were rioting in front of the Lord's manor. You had no reason to bother warning them. There was no question they were committing a serious offense. Why didn't you just do what you would always do? And then I would argue with you about it, like I always do. What the hell got into you, Odilon? I suppose I must have softened up somewhat. Excuse me? You cared so much about your friends in the slums, my lord, that I took pity on them. Old age seems to weaken more than just the body. How truly inconvenient. Yeah, he probably has a concussion or brain trauma from the rock. I think so too, Quill. Mordegard said you don't look like yourself. Oh, I see. Yeah, well, probably because he isn't like his strong, cocky self as he always is, I guess. I mean, he's kind of defeated right now, more like. Because, I mean, Jacopo has always looked the same. I feel like if he was changing appearance, then they would do something with his sprite to show that. So, yeah, I think it was more like he was defeated and, well, exactly, that more likely his spirit affecting demeanor. Exactly, Quill. I think it's that too. Odilon. Nevertheless, I am glad this old body held out until today. What are you? I would not have been able to pass on peacefully had I not seen you recover from the poison, my lord. Stop it. Don't talk like that. I told you, you're stronger than one damn rock. I'm your lord, damn it. My word is the law. It is with great regret that I must defy my lord's command. Enough. I mean it. You stop this right now. Oh, my warnings against being swayed by your emotions remain unheeded, I see. And who the hell's fault do you think that is, huh? You are the Lord. The sooner you learn to control that blaze, the smoother your future endeavors will proceed. Do not allow your days to be cut short as well in a moment's weakness. I implore you to always remain strong. Strong and ever high of heart, so that none may drag you down. With death upon me, my hands are shaking dreadfully. I don't think anything scared you. It terrifies me to know I will be leaving you alone. Before, I was able to teach you everything. I cannot bear knowing that I have forsaken you at but the onset of a great and perilous journey. There is so much more I have yet to pass on to you that you will need in order to become a great ruler. So much. Then don't go! Stay and teach me! You said you wanted to fulfill your duties as consul, that you didn't want to die until you had accomplished something worthwhile. You can't tell me you're satisfied with this. Odilon! Odilon? Odilon. Don't do this. You can't. Say something. Please. Say anything. Tell me it's all a cruel prank. Odilon! Lord Bonnier. Odilon is dead. Make arrangements for a funeral. Yes, Lord. And what happened with the riot? They fled soon after striking Odilon. I would wager they returned to the city. Thank you. Would you like something done about them, Lord? I would. They need to understand that their actions have consequences. They slander their lord and murder his consul. We can't just let them walk away from that, now can we? Then we will have them all arrested and thrown in the dungeon. I said there will be consequences. If we just slap them on the wrist, they will come back and do it again. They'll mock me, condescend me, ridicule me, keep making a mess of my home. Tell me, do you feel safe serving a lord whose people neither respect nor fear him? Would you have any admiration for a leader like that? Have them executed. Since Odilon isn't here to advise it, I, Lord Bonnier, officially order every spark of opposition is to be snuffed out. You find every last one of these rats and relieve them of their heads, and then put them on display in the city square. Make sure they know damn well exactly what awaits. Anyone who opposes Lord Bonnier. Yes, Lord. Well, this is more familiar territory. Odilon is a mirror for Giselle's first lord, Mel and Nelly's grandfather. Oh yeah, yeah. Quite true. That could be it in a way. I can see that. Yeah. And yeah, that is quite a change. I guess trauma messes with your brain. Okay, but I do think it's time for a little stretchy break. So yeah, you guys who have been here before, you know the drill. We go and stretch. It's not good to sit down for too long, but don't go anywhere too far because I will be back soon. So see you guys in a few minutes. Alright, I am back. I hope everyone else is here too and ready to continue. Lolly staring into space. I mean, what else is there to do while you're stretching, you know? Alright, let's continue with the story, shall we? Odolan's blood was on my hands. My inexperience and naivety had gotten him killed. He had warned me again and again that my people had no love for me, but I ignored him, foolishly believing in friendship, letting Gratian into my house, and ultimately getting Odolan murdered. My trust didn't belong with Gratian or my old slum companions. It belonged with Odolan. I should have realized so much sooner that he was the one and only person left I could trust. Men with whom I had spent years had likely participated in that riot. Men whose names I knew, whose faces I recognized, with whom I had spoken on countless occasions. But I felt not even a pang of regret in ordering their deaths. I didn't reminisce about the good old days. Those days were gone, irrelevant, meaningless. I felt no sympathy for the people they were leaving behind, nor did I so much as bat an eye when I saw their bodies lined up before me. Compassion bred weakness, made you vulnerable. I had to excise every last bit of it. It was the last thing I needed, for I was the Lord, Jean-Francois Bonnier. Hey, look at all those heads. Supposedly they're beheaded for trying to assassinate the Lord. That seems like a lot of folks for an assassination attempt. Who can say what happened up yonder? Have you been down to the square today? I have! My heavens, I almost passed out at the sight of it. Why would those stupid thugs try to go after the Lord anyway? There's been some whispering around town. They say he was actually born in the slums and isn't a noble at all. Wasn't that just his cover while he was in hiding from the phony Bonnier? I certainly hope that's the case, but either way, it's probably best to keep quiet about the topic. I'll say, I doubt he'll do anything as bad as the phony, but it still brings back bad memories. And things will get him to be so pleasant too. What is this? Some kind of sick joke. Fucking Gratian's right at the very front. And the other guys he used to hang out with at the pub. Did you kill them all? Jacopo, you killed all your old friends. Why? What the hell, Jacopo? You would never hurt anyone. What happened to you? You went through hell with these guys. How could you just fucking murder them? Have you really changed that much? You have. You have, Jacopo. You become a completely different man. No. You're long dead. You died in that goddamn revolution. The Jacopo I know no longer exists. All that's left is Lord Bonnier. Everyone, they're all gone. You, Morgana, Jaren, Gratian, every last one. What the fuck, man? Yeah, it is very sad. I wish Maria and Jack would meet again sooner. Yeah. It would have been like... I imagine... I don't know. Like, it's tricky. I wonder if it had been Maria who visited and like genuinely just wanted to visit and have a nice talk with her friend. Like, if things could have gone differently. Like if she asked what the heck he's doing and he was able to explain it, because I feel like Maria would be more willing to listen to Gratian, and then she could like tell the others what was his plans. But still, it is tricky because being the Lord, you are susceptible to being betrayed or being targeted by basically anyone that doesn't agree with what you're doing. So I'm not sure if that would fix problems. It could have, maybe for the moment, but I still think that down the line Jacopo would still be bound to become the one Jacopo that we know from the future, like this very protected in his own cocoon kind of lord, just being cruel and selfish. I don't think there is any other path that he could end up in, really, to be honest. As sad as it is, but I do think it's sort of his fate either way. It is a result of many semi-bad decisions and good decisions. Yeah, it is. I appointed a new consul shortly after Odilon's death, but he was an ineffectual, short-sighted oaf. And to top it off, he had a tendency to simply nod and agree with anyone and everyone, rather than express any opinions of his own. If anything, having him around made my job more difficult. But it wasn't as though there was anyone else competent enough to take the position, and relieving him so soon would come with his own crop of problems. So I ended up using him to shuffle papers and handle other menial work while I took care of the actual decision making. My first order of business was to establish clearly defined rules and punishments. Speaking ill of the Lord, spreading false rumors about his lineage, creating art of any form which could be interpreted as defamatory. These were all considered acts of oh my god, why? It's French, probably. We are in France, so I'm gonna take a guess, and if there is anyone French watching me, I apologize in beforehand. I am not French speaking. Le Majeste is what I'm guessing. Or Le Majesté. Something like that. We go with that. And, in the most severe cases, were potentially punishable by death. I started seeing results almost immediately. The people stopped claiming I was a fake, that I came from the slums. The Bonnier name became a symbol of fear once again. My renovation efforts proceeded as originally planned. The city flourished as a commerce hub, attracting merchants and patrons and visitors from near and far. Some fields had to be removed as well to accommodate the expansion of the marketplace, but they were hardly producing anything worthwhile to begin with. If farmers wanted to keep farming, they were free to move elsewhere. I scaled down on the size of the slums while scaling up security. Lacking leadership, what little remained of the peacekeepers group had turned into a gang of unruly thugs. So, rather than keeping the peace, they largely made things worse. In response, I forbade the formation of unauthorized organizations within the slums. And with all that in place, the city was much safer and more orderly, and the economy significantly stronger than it had been under my predecessor's rule. However, those unfortunate enough to miss riding the wave of economic growth found themselves falling ever further behind their neighbors. What is my computer doing? Stop it. That is enough. Majest would be what I expect. Yeah, probably. I will have to check it up after the stream, I feel. I want to know. The ravine between the poor and the wealthy had become nigh uncrossable. My own manor was hardly a bastion of safety either. Not only was I rapidly enacting new policy, laws were stricter and punishments harsher than before, so many were, to put it lightly, more than a little displeased with me. I'd gone through several food tasters and just as many direct assassination attempts. It wasn't particularly difficult to avoid major incidents by simply suspecting everyone, but I could seldom relax as a result. In time, I came to prefer solitude. Well, not so much prefer, as require it for my own safety. Odilon's death left me with more than just solitude, though. The phantom slipped free from my dreams, appearing from my shadow whenever I was alone, laughing endlessly. What did I tell you, boy? You're controlling them with fear, just as I did. It's a wonderful feeling, is it not? The look of terror on a man's face is the most exquisite thing in all the world. Silence you. Stand by the window and listen. You can hear them, all the way from the bottom of the hill, bemoaning the great and terrible Lord Bonnier. Be quiet. And you know who their cries are about. It's not me any longer. It's you, boy. Shut up, goddammit. Don't fool yourself. You know better than me. Enough! I said silence, spirit! I am nothing like you. Is that so? Then tell me, boy, how do we differ? I don't hold those disgusting banquets for one, nor do I torture slaves for my own sick pleasure. By your command, hundreds of slaves are being worked so hard it would surely spell their deaths. How is that any different than murder or torture? Their deaths aren't meaningless. They're giving their lives for the good of this city. In your eyes, perhaps, but how many would take your side? You have no idea what you're talking about. If the people were truly satisfied with your rule, you wouldn't be holed up in this room all the time. You have no one you can open up to, no one to offer you companionship. What better proof of your tyrannical ways than your own isolation? Shut your damn mouth! You wretched man. How many times have you been betrayed? Have you found anyone you can trust after all your old friends proved you couldn't even count on them? Oh, for God's sake, quit babbling already. Solitude will be your constant companion for the rest of your days. And should you let your guard down even for a moment, know that 100 men lie in wait, ready to plunge their blades into your back. Your attendants dream of the day they can sneak poison past your taster. Shut up! Ah, you poor pathetic child. How much misery and stress have you brought upon yourself because you let your dreams run amok? Clawing your way up into a world much, much too big for you. Begone, damn you! My lord? I heard a huge crash. Lord? How many times do I have to tell you? To stay out of my chambers! Forgive me, but I was afraid you might be in... I can take care of myself, damn it! Don't make me say it again. Yes, sir. Hello, welcome, welcome. How did you wind up here on this side of here too? No idea, but you're very welcome to be here. I hope you will enjoy your stay. Yeah, exactly, Will. This is the fun side. To hell with you. We're nothing alike. I'm making their lives better, not worse. I'm not a tyrant. I started relying on alcohol to rid myself of the phantom. When I was drunk enough, I didn't have to see anything. I didn't dream. I didn't have nightmares. Ooh, what is this game about? Well, it's hard to explain it. It is a visual novel, so it is a story that we are reading. Right now we are following the new Lord of the Land as he is, trying his best to be a lord, but he is failing because he has lost all trust in everything and everyone, being very paranoid and basically becoming his predecessor. I do recommend, if you find this interesting, to maybe check out my playthrough of the main game, The House in Fata Morgana, because this is a prequel game. And while you can enjoy and understand it before the main game, it does spoil a lot of things from that game. So if you're interested in that, I recommend it. Otherwise, just hang here and enjoy the story. Both options are perfectly fine. When I was drunk enough, I didn't have to see anything. I didn't dream. I didn't have nightmares. And most importantly, I didn't have to think. There were times I couldn't be sure whether I was in my right mind. There were times I was so panicked I wanted to scream my throat raw. But there was never a time I was safe showing that weakness. I knew from experience it would only put me at risk. I couldn't complain to anyone. I couldn't ask anyone for help. I couldn't believe in anyone. Odilon's dying words came back to me again and again. Stay strong and ever high of heart. Yeah, exactly. You are explaining it very well there, Quill. Much better than I could, so thank you for helping me explaining it. What did it even mean to be high of heart, though? Certainly I had nothing to be proud of. Not having spent my early years a filthy, impoverished slum rat, not having spearheaded a violent revolution and stolen the throne, not this farce of a tale about me secretly being a noble. I hadn't been raised to be a lord. I hadn't been taught to have a proud, noble spirit. That was likely what Odin had wanted to impart upon me, the nature of a ruler. People automatically respect a man who is truly dignified and noble. They instinctively admire him, kneeling out of wholehearted honor. And that's what makes a true king. Not knowing the first thing about how to be that kind of man, I fell back on the only alternative that came to mind, forcing them to kneel beneath my iron fist. 2 years under Odin's tutelage was nowhere near long enough to instill in me the natural nobility I needed. Thus was I left to be tormented by this accursed phantom whenever alone, and play the ruthless ruler elsewise. In my attempts to mask the fear lurking within, I grew louder and more ostentatiously contemptuous. Practically every other word out of my mouth was an insult. The old Jacopo was long gone, and Lord Bonnier had crept in to take his place. It was gradual enough that I hardly realized it was happening, but now all I saw in the mirror was the face of a cruel, wretched man. I even came to hate my old self, think him foolish. What kind of a vapid, nebulous dream was I want to go out into the world? What basis did I have for thinking myself any more significant than any other kid on the streets? And where the hell did I get the idea that having influence meant having freedom? I could barely even take care of myself. Where did I get off on thinking a little power would let me protect the people I cared about? And what about now? What fundamentally did I even want now? What did I have to protect? Nothing. I was too far gone. There was no light to be found, no matter how far I marched this path. And only a bottomless abyss waited at my back. I had left myself, with nowhere to return to. Before I knew it, nearly 4 years had passed since the revolution. By then, not a soul? Okay, not a soul. Not a soul dared defy my will. I was surrounded by people who supported my every decision. Few of them genuinely agree with me on everything, obviously, but no one could deny how much growth I had brought about, and so long as I continued to produce results, I would continue to have their outward support. Better call Saul, yeah. I blame not being native English speaker, okay? As a trading hub, the city flourished, but the citizens were less than thrilled about the work I was doing. The poorest, especially, seemed to hold a great deal of enmity for me. But I was reaching the point where I couldn't manage on the support of the upper crust alone. Simply dumping sacks of coin into the streets wouldn't end poverty, though, and increasing taxes on imported goods would undermine everything I had built up. Lacking an actual solution, all I could do was work to make them feel like they were better off than they actually were. Fortunately, it was much easier to pull the wool over the middle and lower class eyes than it was the better educated upper class. I started by building public recreational facilities which citizens had priority access to, and then I turned my eyes toward religion. About a year earlier, as a part of the city's expansion, a bridge was built across the river that served as the city's effective border. A church has still not been established in that new district, so I wanted to build one and gather a following. Conveniently enough, my predecessor had been in the process of building a second manor on the other side of the river, and with a little bit of work it could easily be repurposed into a church. Here we go, guys! We are getting into main game territory here. Once people started making use of the church, it would be simple to win their favor by making myself known as a generous patron. Faith was the ultimate blinder for the uneducated, and history showed time and again that religion could be a powerful tool in the right hands. But the high foreigner and merchant population in the city meant that no one particular religion had managed to take hold. The merchants especially tended to develop their own individual philosophies over the years, with few caring much for higher powers. That was a possible explanation for why the church had never had much sway in this region. There was, therefore, a chance the whole thing would just be a colossal waste of money. However, I had recently caught wind of a curious rumor. There was a nun serving at a small church at the far edge of town who people had come to refer to as the Saintess. Marie! Come here, Sister Marie! Oh? What is it? I picked some flowers for you. Take a look, they're so pretty. Oh, why thank you. They're beautiful. Ah! Get it away from me! She actually fell for it. Hey now, how many times do I have to tell you it's not nice to trick people? You're too much fun to tease, Sister Marie. That's hardly an excuse. It's still wrong. I'm your big sister here, so you need to treat me like... Ah, there's a bug on your dress. What? No way! Where is it? Get it off! Someone get it off me! Just kidding. There's nothing there. Ah, get back here, you little rascals. So her name's Marie. Not quite what I envisioned of the so-called saintess. She seeks out orphans to take into her care and offers food for the hungry, shelter for the homeless, and rest for the weary. And where exactly do the funds for that come from? She covers it all herself, supposedly. I highly doubt she has that kind of money just sitting around. Look at the building. It's practically falling apart. Wait a second. I get it. Further proof to tease slowly. No, please don't. She makes use of all the church's resources to fund her charity. That is correct, my lord. Is she really so foolish as to not realize that's unsustainable? The locals are quite fond of her, but the same cannot be said of the priests and the other nuns. Her work is causing them great financial stress. I'm not surprised. Shall I summon her? No, don't bother. I've seen more than enough. Yes, my lord. What? You have something to say? No, my lord. I seem to find it curious you would take the time to come all the way out here when you have far more important work to attend to. Not that I would ever imply your judgment is anything other than impeccable, my lord. I just thought this saintess might be someone I knew. Aww. That kinda hurts a bit. Pardon? But I was mistaken. They don't call her the saintess because she does God's work. They just call her that because she's a damn goody two-shoes. So much for words having actual meaning. Christ. Hi, Phantom Freddy. Welcome, welcome. It's nice to see you here again. I see. Lord Bonnier? It's nothing. I'm heading back now. Yes, sir. Ah, Marie! Marie! The giant man's here! Come on now, be polite. Good day, Marie. The kid seems to be doing quite well. Oh, you have no idea. So well, in fact, that this little hooligan found himself a whole handful of bugs. And goodness, he about scared me out of my skin. Little mischief is a good thing. Their smiles wouldn't be half as bright as any other orphanage. I'm not so sure about that. In any case, here's what I earned this week. No, no, no. I keep telling you, that's not necessary. But you do accept tithes, no? Yes, but still. I know it's hardly enough to cover what you need, but please. No, that's not what I mean. It's your money. You should use it for yourself. I have nothing to use it on. You put it to much better use than I ever could. All right. Thank you. But try not to work yourself too hard, okay? I promise. Goodness, you really do make a lot in a week. I didn't realize carpentry paid so well. Yeah, I didn't realize carpentry paid so well either. It's almost like it's doing something else. Indeed. I'm fortunate enough to have found good work. Maybe I'll leave the church and take up carpentry myself. Just kidding. You kid, but you would do quite well for yourself. You're strong enough to carry me, at least. That took every last bit of strength I had. Who is that man? Even with all the foreigners who get here, I've never seen anyone who looks like that. He is a frequent visitor to this church, though he does not appear to come for the charity. An Oriental, perhaps? Oh, Oriental? My former consul told me of them once. Vagrants from the Far East who supposedly look much like that man. How curious. He may be able to fool the nun, but I know damn well no carpenter in the world makes that much in a week. There's something fishy about him. He likes art, Ryoshi style art. Yeah, that's probably it. Look into that man. Tell me anything you find out about him. Yes, Lord Bonnier. Now I'm heading back. In addition to the renovations for the church and gathering intel on the Far Eastern man, I made sure to keep an eye out for any unusual rumors or happenings outside the city's border. Of all the reports I received, the one that caught my attention was word of a witch who lived by a lake. This lakeside witch supposedly had miraculous powers, allowing her to cure any ailment, and the effect was transmitted through her blood. This wasn't the first time I had heard of the witch, an elderly woman who prepared and sold medicinal herbs, but I hadn't realized she also traded in miracles. Oh boy. I can imagine some carpentry being expensive during those times, required a lot of skill, and skill meant worth. But he doesn't look like a skilled carpenter. Yeah. Yeah. And probably not as much money as he is making in a week. Probably, I guess, from doing what he does. It sounded like a bunch of snake oil to me, but she had allegedly cured a deathly ill young girl and started to make quite a name for herself. But on top of that, they also said the sound of the witch's first cry had ended a year-long drought in the village where she was born. This doesn't bode well. Why not, my lord? Try using your damn head once in a while, would you? Two competing denominations forming so close together, you don't see how that could lead to all sorts of headaches? The objective is to unify the people under a single banner, to which I then pledge my support and earn their favor, but that all becomes moot if their faith turns toward this witch. The people do love their heroes and miracles, after all. It is quite an attractive proposition, I must say. I'm mocking them, you buffoon. I beg your pardon. The chances of it growing into something actually worth worrying about are slim, but better to snuff the flame out before it spreads than sit back and hope it burns itself out. Shall I deliver an order for her to cease operation then? That would be best. Actually, no. I'll deal with this personally. You just keep your mouth shut and do exactly as you ordered. Nothing more, nothing less. Understood? Yes, Lord. To start, summon a man from the church. A few days later, I was standing face to face with the man in my audience room. He seemed much less personable in person than when I had seen him with the nun. Stone-faced, cold, and faintly smelled of blood. Not that I could actually smell blood, but it was an animalistic air emanating from him. That much I had expected, though. I knew before summoning him that he was anything but a respectable man. I take it you're the Oriental man who's been buzzing around a local church of late. That would be me, yes. What of it? Who do you think you're talking to, you imprudent rat? Show some damn respect. Apologies. I'm not very familiar with the local customs or language. Heh. Very well then. You're fortunate I'm such an understanding man. What times I stream? Well, right now I'm having a bit of an irregular schedule, or I wouldn't say irregular, but a different schedule because of summer work schedule. But usually it is on Mondays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays. I tend to alternate every other week. And it is 16:15 GMT plus 2, and also every other Sunday at 13 GMT plus 2 are my regular schedule. Although I will have now, after this stream today, I will have a 2 weeks break, and then I'm not exactly sure what my schedule will be. Yeah, I do have a schedule on my Instagram, and also I do put up a schedule every Sunday on my community tab so that everyone knows beforehand. But those are my usual times, and the times rarely differ. It's always 16:15 GMT plus 2 on normal weekdays, and then there are 13 GMT plus 2 on weekends usually. But yeah, I put up my schedule every Sunday on my Instagram and on my community tab here on YouTube. How to donate? Oh my god, you're so sweet! I don't have any possibility to donate right now. I have been thinking about maybe starting up a Ko-fi page, but I don't have it right now. But that's very sweet of you to even considering it. That makes me very happy. Thank you. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't have it right now, but it is something I will look into when I get a little bigger. But right now I feel I'm still so very small, so I feel like I wouldn't really, I don't know. Maybe I should start having a coffee page. I don't know. Thank you, though. Thank you. Now, for the reason I called you here. You're the one who killed that cart full of slaves 4 years ago, aren't you? So you know about that. I wasn't actually sure it was you, but now I have confirmation. Since then, one slave of Far Eastern origin has remained unaccounted for. I take it that would be you. As you made, I strongly recommend coffee. Yeah? I might look into it soonish then. I have never gotten anyone who wanted to before, so yeah, I will look into it, definitely. That's right. You made one hell of a mess out there. Am I here to be punished? That depends on how our talk goes. If you think I'm going back to being a slave, you're fooling yourself. Pfft. I don't need any more damn slaves, and I certainly don't want you as one. You're obviously not finding any respectable work being an ex-slave, so I take it you're still in the business of getting your hands dirty, are you not? I assume you're playing cat burglar or something, living off whatever you can swipe off from the nearest unlucky bastard. Correct. Isn't it comical then, that you would choose God's sacred house to stretch your legs in, you filthy dog? I absolutely agree. I thought that would get a reaction out of you, but it seems you got no bite in you today. Never mind, let's get down to business. You're going to help me out with a little something I'm working on. Help you with what, exactly? Something that's going to make me a lot of money. And if you lend a hand, I'll make sure you're well taken care of. along with the church you're so fond of, and the nun you're taking a liking to. That nun of yours has made quite a name for herself. Out in the city proper, people have started calling her the Saintess. They're right about that. She is. Ha! The commoners love their heroes and saints. They eat that rubbish right up. But saint or not, you can't simply create food from nothing. Her work is causing financial troubles for the church, is it not? It is, yes. If you help me with this, I'm offering you an entirely new church, one where she has complete control to do as she wishes. She'll make it into the biggest church in the city. She'll be able to help even more people, which should surely please her. What would you have me do? Jumping at the first whiff of scraps. You really are a dog, aren't you? I don't like conversations that overstay their welcome. Fair enough. Then let's get to business. Not far from here lives a witch whose blood has the power to cause miracles. Miracle blood? Sounds like a sham to me. You never know. They say the sound of her first cry brought rain to the land where she was born, saving the whole village from drought. And they say her blood has the power to cure any disease. I'll worry about the veracity of the rumors later. Right now, all I want is for you to capture her and bring her to me. Explain something to me, Lord. You said that if I helped you, the nun would be able to save more people than she does now. So how does capturing this witch accomplish that? I'm glad you know how to listen, dog. We'll be turning the blood into a miracle elixir, which she will then distribute to patrons of the church. In exchange for tithes, of course. Selling it then. Selling isn't quite the right word, but if that's how you want to think of it, by all means. The commoner's beloved saintess, handing out an all-powerful miracle medicine. They'll lap it up. And in turn, you'll make a fortune. Exactly. Money I can use to support her church. It'll be a boon to the city's economy as well. A single witch's freedom is all it'll cost for everyone here to come out happy. So, what will it be? Will you help? Or will I have to? I'll help. I have no reason not to. Decisive and a good listener. Excellent. Once I've captured the witch, where do I take her? I have a mansion set aside where your nun can run her church. There's an observation tower on the grounds. The witch will be kept locked up there to ensure we have a constant supply of blood. Okay. When do you want me to get her? You're just chomping at the bit now, aren't you? I thought you'd hesitate at least a little, but I guess it was foolish of me to presume to understand how a killer's mind works. All the resources I put into investigating you and everyone close to you were wasted, it would seem. Do you even have a conscience? Don't act like you're any different. I assure you, I have a conscience. Hi Aldrin, welcome! Welcome to the stream! I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't necessary for the growth of the city. No, I mean you're as much a murderer as me. You would never come up with a scheme like this if your hands were clean. The man's right. You're nothing but a murderer. How deep has the blood seeped into your hands? How many have you killed claiming their lives necessary sacrifices? And how many more will die for your ambition? Silent spirit. That poor, poor witch. Blessed with the power to perform miracles, only to win her attention of the villainous lord. It must be done. I don't have to explain myself to you. You love Yuki's smile. Yeah, it is a cool smile. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Quill. I kind of like it too. He's not a bad-looking man. It's not like the old hag has long to live anyway. What the hell is villainous about having her spend the final days for the greater good of the city? So many lives will be improved at the cost of only one. You keep telling yourself that, boy. But what you're doing is no different than my banquets. You're cut from the same cloth as the man standing before you. And the same cloth as me. Be gone, phantom. Yeah, I know, I have Vincent. You can have Yukimasa. I don't want him for myself. I'm just saying he is good looking, but you can have him if you want to. I think I prefer Vincent, so don't worry about that, Quill. Watch your mouth, dog. Don't you dare insinuate I would ever condescend to your level. Damn it. That's the first time he's shown up with someone else around. At least you behaved yourself today. I'm pretty sure you're smarter than most people I deal with. Taco! And you won't betray me either. Who knows how much longer he'll live, though? Stay. Don't touch it until I say so. Oh, quit pouting at me like that. You're the Lord's dog. Stand tall and proud. Alright, here you are. Drink up. Looks like it's safe. I swear, so much work just to get myself a damn drink of water. When I heard about the Saintess, I thought it might be you, but it was someone else. I never did get around to resuming the search after Odilon passed. There's no one around I can trust with such a sensitive task. Though, it's probably for the best if I never do find you. We can't go back to the way we were before. Not that there's much chance you're even still alive. If, by some strange chance, you are still alive, what would you think of the man I become? Oh god. I'm getting anxious. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Or I actually do like it because I do like tragic tales, but oh my god, does it hurt. Several days later than originally planned, the Far Eastern man finally arrived at the mansion. Cliffhanger time. Actually, you're right. Maybe we should have a cliffhanger here because I am looking at the time. Yeah. Let's leave it at a cliffhanger. Good call, Quill. Good call. Because I'm trying to like think how the rest of the game is playing out, and yeah, I do think it is a good call to pause it here. So yeah, let's do that. But yeah, quite an episode. We got to see finally our beloved Jacopo finally crumbling under the pressure and becoming the very thing he hates. And yeah, it is painful. It is very painful. And it's even more painful when it's like talking like in his mind to Morgana like that, like, oh, what would you think if you're here, blah blah blah, I want to meet you again, like, yeah, well, wishes do come true, but yeah. Well, we have a lot more pain to look forward to next time, so maybe it's good that we're having a bit of a break before, so we can gather ourselves. The maid is getting a sense of her latest tendencies. Yeah, you are, definitely. You know me too well, Quill. The end, yeah. I feel like we have been at it for a while now, almost 2 hours, I believe. So I'm starting to feel a bit sore in my body, and yeah, as Quill says, this is a good cliffhanger to leave it at. And those of you who have followed me through my whole The House in Fata Morgana journey, you know perfectly well what is about to come, and yeah, I feel like it's a good cliffhanger for sure. Yeah, exactly. The end for today, not forever, of course. And thank you, Quill, for recommending my VODs. That's very kind of you. You know me too well. You're trapped here now. Yeah, exactly. You're all trapped here. You're not leaving me, are you? I'm holding you here. Now I want to see the resume copy for next time. Yeah, thank you. I will, and I'm glad that I was able to entertain you, and I'm so thankful that you also want to donate. That's so kind of you. I will definitely make a coffee. Will do. So yeah. As I said earlier, this is the last stream now for a little while. I will have a social media break for 2 weeks now, but then I will come back, so I am not retiring or anything. I am still planning on keep doing this, so don't worry about that. But yeah, for 2 weeks now I will be off of social media, but I do have a Bloodborne video planned for this week. Not sure which day, but it will come someday during the week. And also I am working on reading a wrap-up video as well that will come the week after. So a little breadcrumbs I will still throw out for you guys. But in the meantime, I have a large VOD library for those who are interested. So check that out if you're interested in watching my stuff. So yeah. Hello Theo, welcome. Bloodborne, that's actually hype as hell. Yeah, I hope you will like it. My mod Dudor here in chat also. I'm not sure if Dudor is in chat right now actually, but he usually is. But he is also like side gigging as an editor for me, because I feel like I can't edit all of my videos on my own right now while I'm currently working full-time as well. So he's helping me out with the Bloodborne video edits, and he's doing a fantastic job. So I highly recommend it you guys watch them, because he's doing amazingly. He's very talented with the editing. So yeah. I believe Dudur is short and lurk. Yeah, he did say that. So yeah. But yeah, that is the plan. So but I will put up my schedule on Sundays as I can't speak anymore. On Sundays as usual on my community tab. So I will keep you guys updated with what is planned, and so that you know when I will be back. So on my community tab on Sundays, and also on my Instagram on Sundays, the schedule will come up, even during break time, just to like let you know what is going on. So yeah, I think that's everything I need to address. Thank you guys for being here with me. It's been super fun as usual. I hope you guys had a nice relaxing time as well. I'm still amazed by all the new people that are coming in and saying hi and just showing love. It's making me so happy. You have no idea. It's really giving me so much life and energy, just how supporting you guys are. All of you guys really are amazing. So huge thank you everyone for spending your time here with me. So yeah, I wish you all a lovely day, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks time. And until then, have a lovely time. See you guys. Bye.